One of the things about true innovation is your ability to take risks, and part of taking risks is failing. So I'm about to do something that has a risk of failure. So to you, I will say, if this works, it was absolutely all my idea. If it did not, Steve Frazee came up with it, okay? Perfect. What we're going to do is we asked earlier on if we would have a couple panelists who would come up and talk a little bit about innovation. So we're going to try that right now and see how it goes. So I would like you to welcome 5 members of your audience who wants to talk about innovation. Come on out here, guys. How this is going to work is I'm just going to have them introduce themselves, and on their tags it says what they innovate. They will say what that is, and then I'll ask them a question about today. What inspired them? What are they encouraged to do after today? What are they looking forward to this evening? Those sorts of things. And if it works perfectly, maybe I'll ask them another question. So the birthday girl, I will give you. It's her birthday.
It's
so
my
we're
birthday.
We're innovating birthdays. So first of all, how has TEDx been today?
This has been the best birthday present I've ever had. It's been wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
high energy.
What do you think you're going to take away today? Like tomorrow you wake up, what are you going to do after today?
I think this experience has given me a nice boost of confidence. You know, to step out, step forward, and take charge of a couple big projects that I've been working on. So I'm pretty excited about the thought of that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the birthday girl. All right, you may notice one of our musicians from earlier is here. So you came out here, you performed, you were a speaker, and now you've been in the audience. What have you experienced now having performed and then kind of seen a couple talks? Like the cyborg musicality, what does that do to you as a musician?
Well, specifically the cyborg musicality thing is very cool. I had the chance to talk to Peter backstage as I was just coming back from lunch. Turns out he is also a Columbia alum, so we had some good talks about that. But I think what has been great about this whole thing for me so far is there have been so many people with so many amazing ideas, and just meeting a few people as I've been walking to lunch and talking. It's amazing that all this stuff is happening in one place. It seems like there's too much innovation, too much thought for just one room.
Thank you. And you were one of the first people to come up to me and say you wanted to talk today. So what does innovation mean to you? What encouraged you to come up and want to talk a little bit?
Well, I didn't know it was going to be a pop quiz.
Life is a pop quiz, so you never know.
Well, I'm not from Grand Rapids. I'm from New York, but my parents live in town here, and I'm visiting them. So it was very much on a wonderful whim that a friend of mine said, why don't you spend the Thursday you would otherwise be playing golf at TED? And I said, absolutely, that sounds great. And then when Dr. Leach, is it?
Yes.
Dr. Leach couldn't come, I said, well, I technically have a medical degree. Why don't I get up there? I'm not using it today, but I thought, well, what the heck? I'll jump up. So, you know, much like our last presenter, I think from Los Angeles, you know, I had a good friend who used to say, you have everything until you don't have your health. And it's really true. You can have everything going in your life, but something like a small glioma or a spinal cord injury can just strip you of all of your skills and powers. And I was a neurosurgeon for a few years, a resident in Chicago at Northwestern, and I recently left to start my own company, and I'm working with a great group of people on a device that will protect young athletes and old while they're skiing or riding their mountain bikes or jumping out of planes or doing whatever it is they want to do. So I innovate, I guess, safety. And when I think about safety, I don't think about not doing something. I think about doing it and doing it really hard and doing it really well, but limiting or minimizing that risk that you have to take. So, you know, I didn't have much of a safety net, but I guess the other people up here are sort of my safety device for being up here. But we all need something at times to protect ourselves, whether it's a helmet or the device that I'm working on that'll be sort of a large insert for extreme athletes and their you know, other components of their protective gear. So I'm happy to be here. It's been a great day. I got to have lunch with a serial entrepreneur who gave me a lot of good advice. So thanks a lot.
Awesome. And Roger, what do you innovate?
That's an excellent question. My name is Roger Henderson, and I work with a very talented team of innovators and creative people, and a distributed learning team currently contracted to the Department of Defense. Now, the original intent, I guess, of this was just tell us what you like most about TED so far. What's your favorite part? What you're really taking away from this? I said, no problem. That's easy. Except that every single speaker has been my favorite. Every single topic has been thoroughly intriguing. Every bit of information shared today has stirred something in me. And I guess that's what it's all about. And I knew that's what would happen, but it still took me by surprise, the impact and the force of this conference, this phenomenon. 600 people, that's the number of attendees.
Yes, sir.
That's really a relatively small number, certainly on a global scale. But the feeling, the energy, sorry, I lived in California for 10 years, so you have to get a little esoteric here. The vibe you get from these 600 people, and of course the thousands behind the scenes, or at least the thousands of hours behind the scenes, is almost overwhelming. What am I going to take away from this? Renewed confidence in the possibility of tomorrow. Ooh, soundbite, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, I like that one. Okay, you can write that down. Go ahead. And I'm delighted to be here. I've been a big fan of TED for a long time, the original conferences. I lived in Monterey for a while. When I saw him working at the Monterey Conference Center, I went, ooh, I know that place. And I got hooked on the talks and the videos. The very concept of what we're doing here and what we're going to do tomorrow with what starts here is exciting beyond belief. And thank you.
Thank you. And Dino, lastly, there are people that could not make it today that are watching on the web stream. If you could explain to them maybe in a few words what's the difference between watching them, because it's like watching TEDx or TED videos at home, and being here amongst all these people, what would you say to them?
Thank you for watching. Truly, thank you. Do everything in your power, if you can, to make it out to one of these events. Nothing replaces being here, the FaceTime. Some of these people I've met before, and many of them meeting for the very first time. And some of you are seeing all of these events and these people for the first time. This is my first TED event. Being here in Grand Rapids, it's just such a wonderful city. So you should all know that, you probably all live and work in cities. I'm talking to you out on the web now. That if you don't have an event like this, I mean, you just saw some people that, weren't here, didn't live here for more than a year, and just decided to put all of this together with not relatively little effort, with just tremendous help from the community, how everyone came together to put forth just an exceptional effort. The story of innovation that we're talking about here today, it can be shared and retweeted, and we're hoping you all do that, truly, we really do. But to be here amongst all this warmth and creativity, it's just exceptional, and something that I can tell you, but I really can't show you. You need to see it for yourself, and hopefully you can make it out to one of these one day.
Well, thank you. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you.